Hey everyone, welcome to this month's edition of the Dollar Club, where we see how everyone contributing just $1 a month can bless the community and share the love of Christ to those around us. Today we're going to be meeting with Becky Frampton, who is the program director at Service Station, an agency that provides services to folks with disabilities. They aim to create a safe place where folks can come and serve and find their purpose despite limited abilities. So let's sit down with Becky and learn more about the impact of Service Station and see if there's any way the Dollar Club can bless them. Hey Becky, thanks so much for sitting down and talking with me. Can you kind of tell us the big picture of what Service Station is all about?
Yeah, so the Service Station, we're a behavioral health agency that provides services to folks with disabilities. So under that umbrella of services, there's a day habilitation component, and that's what we do here. And the reason that it came about was my oldest son was born blind and had multiple disabilities. And after he graduated, we were just kind of like, oh gosh, what's next? There was nothing that I could find for him to do, and I wanted him to get out of bed and have a purpose. And I just felt like after high school was over, I looked around and I just couldn't find any that either met his needs or the standards of things that we wanted to see for him. So we created the Service Station.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so you came up with that name, and I understand on your logo there's a verse in John 9.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So John 9, 2 and 3 has been personal for me as a scripture, and that's the scripture that talks about when the disciples asked Jesus, why was this man born blind? Was it that his parents had sinned or he had sinned that he would be born that way? And Jesus just replies to the disciples and said, neither has sinned, that this man was created this way so that the glory of God would be revealed in him. And that's our motto here is everything we run it through. I want people to understand that no one is born accidentally. God doesn't mess up. And I want everyone to see this population of people as such. You know, they have value and they have a lot of abilities that we're not aware of. And so we just want people to view these folks like God views these folks.
That's awesome. I love that. In your experience, what are some hurdles that you have seen that folks struggle with after high school?
So one, for us, it was just actually a place that we felt would be engaging and purposeful. Our tagline in all of our things are to serve with purpose. And our mission statement says to serve with purpose so that God gets the glory. And so even to have a hub for them to find what opportunities there was to see what abilities they had, opportunities to get in the community, opportunities for them to even have a social component to be able to make friends or to be able to relate. It's just really, those services are lacking. And there are some great ones out there, but there's either a waiting list for them or they weren't in our area. There were no day habilitation programs in Putnam County. And so we were just, there was such a need. That transition component is really lacking. There's huge gaps in that area.
So what are some ways that makes Service Station unique?
Number one, we always say, what better way to be a part of a community than to serve one? We didn't want to be that group of folks that feels sorry for it. It's just a group of handicapped people and we feel sorry for them and we're going to throw $1 at them. Like, our guys are so much more, just so much more potential there. We're not an adult daycare. You don't just come here to sit and collar. Like, everything we do has a purpose. So pre-COVID, we were in we had a standing appointment every week. We were in the food pantries. We did the backpack meals at our church. Every week. They put together more than 100 backpack meals every week. We had a pencil sharpening program at the local elementary schools. We worked in their greenhouses. We volunteered at the schools in their flower beds to help maintain those flower beds. At the high school before the football season, we went down and stocked and cleaned the concession stands. Like, we were just very intentional about being out in the community and helping in any way possible. And their ability levels are so diversified, so some of them are really able to do a lot. And even the ones that we always find something, everyone can serve in some capacity. You just have to have an opportunity to do that. And so I think that's what we do here is intentionally focus on those opportunities.
That's awesome. I love how integrated you are in this community. Can you share maybe a specific story?
So our pencil sharpening program is we would sharpen the pencils and disinfect them and put erasers on them if they needed it. And then we go every week and collect the used pencils. So each person had a classroom that they were in charge of. Folks at school would get to know about folks with disabilities. So in this one instance, we had a little girl who reads very well, but she was really nervous. So what we did, she was in charge of the pencil sharpening program for the kindergarten class. And so they knew her, they loved her, they were all about her. And she became a real important part of their class. Every week they would see her. So she practiced reading a book every week to us for about a month. And we would cheer, and we would and she was so excited. And she got the confidence to go down and read to the kindergarten class. So our guys go down, and we stand in the back behind the kindergarten class, and she reads her book to that kindergarten class, and she was just like a rock star, it's awesome. And she actually has Down syndrome, and it just so happened that a little girl in her class had Down syndrome, and she says after the thing, she looks like me, and I hope I'm able to read like that one day. And so we were just like,
yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, it really was fantastic. She's a rock star there.
That's so awesome. That's amazing. I love the impact you're making. I love that you are just building people up in every area. You're building them up, you're building the communities up. I just love that. And we as a church just have this thing called the Dollar Club, and where we just ask everybody once a month to just throw in an extra $1, and we find somebody or an agency that's just doing amazing things. So we want to come alongside you and support you with that. So I actually have a check for you all for $4,086 today.
I'm so thankful. Yeah. Do you know how many people will be able to help? My guys are going to lose their mind for this. I thought it was just the interview. Hey, thank you. Listen, nobody knows what God's doing over here. We've been so.
No, I love it. We're so thankful for you all. And it's been awesome just to learn more about it, and I love the impact you guys are doing.